The European Hun Empire was founded by Turkic tribes who migrated towards Europe as a result of Chinese oppression in Asia. In 350, they marched westward from the Eurasian steppes. With their advanced weapons and equipment for their time, their high speed and war tactics, they either drove other tribes out or subjugated them. The Huns, who occupied a large part of Eastern Europe, united under the leadership of Attila in 434 and formed a confederation that would last for about 35 years. This mobility caused by the pressure of the Huns was an important factor in the beginning of the migration of tribes and the collapse of the Western Roman Empire, which changed the social, cultural, and demographic structure of Europe and formed the foundations of its present structure. The only political power in Europe at the time was the Roman Empire and the barbarian tribes that made up today's nations. With the beginning of the Hun migration, the sphere of influence of the barbarian tribes decreased and they had to migrate to Roman lands. This event, which we call the migration of tribes today, formed the basis of political and social events until today. This great migration not only disrupted the demographic structure of the Roman Empire, but also created a new political figure. Rome, which experienced control difficulties with the migrations, became two separate states governed from two centers instead of a single center. With the establishment of the European Hun Empire, Hun raids were seen in Eastern Europe and the Balkans. Although Western Rome and the Hun Empire could agree on diplomacy from time to time, the Huns' Eastern Roman campaigns were still seen. Attila was born on the plains of what is today Hungary in 395. Born with the responsibility of leadership from his childhood, Attila would become both a warrior who could ride horses very well and a leader whose command skills began to develop with the training he received. Attila had the chance to test his training on some expeditions and gained experience. When his uncle Rua died, he and his brother Bleda took the throne. They went on raids together and had the opportunity to show themselves. Bleda's losing some battles and being fond of entertainment made Attila more prominent. Attila, alone on the throne at the age of 39 after Bleda's death, wanted to embark on the previously planned Byzantine campaign. When the Byzantine rulers were informed of this, they sent a delegation to Attila. Attila's conditions were accepted and Byzantium was taxed. Meanwhile, Western Rome, which was dealing with barbarian revolts, asked for help from the Huns. Attila sent support to suppress the rebellion and the rebellion was suppressed. This shows us that the Hun Empire established different political relations with both Roman states. But Attila still wanted to increase his sphere of influence and wanted to bring both states under his rule. Byzantium began to fail to fulfill the terms of the agreement. As some of the merchants committed fraud and the previously agreed tax was delayed, the First Balkan Campaign started in 441. Unable to resist against Attila's armies, Byzantium asked for peace. With the agreement, taxes were doubled and Hun raids stopped. Byzantium's failure to return the Hun captives, provoking some Germanic tribes living in the Huns, and the failure to pay the taxes again started the Second Balkan Campaign. As a result of the raids, the Huns advanced into the Balkan interior. Byzantium's inability to stop the raids led them to ask for peace again. Hun raids stopped with new conditions and taxes tripled. Increasing taxes had become a great burden for Byzantium. At the time, they had no military power to fight back, which led to an assassination attempt against Attila. When this attempt failed, Byzantium saw that their political power against the Huns had completely diminished. These developments began to resonate in Europe at the time. According to one of the legends of Attila, he had found the sword of Achilles, the Greek god of war. This was the reason for his authority and raids. Because of these raids, Attila acquired a divine image. He was called the Whip of God. With Byzantium sufficiently intimidated, the Huns turned their minds westwards. Attila had to have a reason for the campaign against Western Rome. He decided to marry the sister of the Emperor of Western Rome, who had previously wanted to marry him. With the marriage, he asked for a part of Western Roman lands as a dowry. Since this request was unacceptable, both states started preparations for war. With the start of the Gallic campaign, the armies that fought showed great heroism and military success. But there was no clear winner on the battlefield. Even in such a situation, Attila was the advantageous side. Because the military forces of the Western Roman Empire were very weakened. Knowing this, Attila set his sights on Rome. They wanted to cross the Alps and enter the heart of Rome. Attila pardoned those who surrendered in the cities they passed through and devastated the struggling cities. In the face of this advance, Roman diplomacy deemed it appropriate to make peace. A delegation accompanied by Pope Lois set off with the gold they took with them to stop Attila. During the negotiations, they agreed for peace. The Pope saved Roman civilization and Christian geographies. With these developments, Attila had officially subjugated East and West Rome. The Hun Empire had become the biggest political figure in Europe. He had a wedding on the return from a campaign. Attila, who was very drunk that night, also died. There have been various debates about his death. After his death, the European Hun Empire began to collapse in a series of rebellions and power struggles. Attila's leadership and military achievements showed their importance after his death. After the collapse of the Hun Empire, Attila's cultural heritage and legends remained.